Da, 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 da. Hey, happy 4th of July, everybody! What's more American than apple pie? I'm going to show you today how to make these little mini apple pies. They're so cute and quite delicious. So we're at the point where we're going to cut the apples. I'm making apple pie. I'm making little individual apple pies today. You just saw the finished product there at the beginning of the video. And now I have already cut up some apples, you can see here. And I'm going to share a couple of secret tips for you with how to make a sweeter apple pie without using conventional sugar. One of my tips is going to be to use 4 to 6 Granny Smith apples, which is a little green apple like this, and you're going to cut them like so. And I like to peel my apple after it's already been sliced. It just makes it go, for me anyway, maybe because I'm not great with a knife, it just makes it go a lot faster. So you can peel it like this, super fast, super easy. So you use 4 to 6 Granny Smith apples, depending on their size and how much filling you want in your pies. You peel them, you core them. I've already taken the core out, as you can see. You peel them and core them. And then because these are little personal mini pies, you're going to want to make them, get over here in the light. Sorry, my light isn't great today. It's kind of cloudy outside. You're going to want to make them in really thin slices because they're going to go in those little personal things. You can see over here how thin my slices are. So you want to make them really nice little thin slices. And you're going to do 4 to 6 Granny Smith. And then you're going to find you a nice, sweet, hard apple. Fuji's work great for this. This is a Fuji apple. I've already peeled it and cored it, washed it of course. I'm going to cut it into its little peelable slices here. And if you add a couple of those, and you can do this with your holiday pies, you can do this anytime with an apple pie. If you use a couple of those, you're just going to get a really amazing, a really amazing dimension into your apple pie. My Nana taught me that trick, to use a few tart apples and a few sweet apples, and then you don't have to use so much sugar trying to get those tart apples to taste like a dessert. So that's that. Actually, I need to finish up these, so then I'll add the other ingredients. So bear with me. So now I'm finishing up cutting up the last of the apples here. And that is it for the knife work. So my other tip is going to be, and a lot of people are going to know this already, is that you're going to want a tablespoon of some sort of citrus liquid into your apples. You want to do that first. This will help your apples from browning while you're waiting and mixing and waiting for pie crust and all that kind of jazz. So just around into your apples like so. I'm going to take off my ring here and just give them a good flip around so that they all get a little bit of the citrus. You want to be careful not to bruise them, just go gently. Okay, just like that. Sorry, I need my cup towel. It's way on the other side of my kitchen, it feels like. What's that? Okay, so just like that. It smells really good. You can see I've got 2 different kinds of apples in there. You can see the green ones and then the more yellow ones, which are the sweeter apples. Then I want you to take 3 tablespoons of a really high quality maple syrup. Maple syrup works better than honey in my opinion. It will give it kind of that caramelized candy kind of feeling as it cooks up. So I really like it that way, and honey might tend to burn and the maple syrup doesn't. Plus this is a vegan option for you as well. You can also try yacon syrup if that would be better for you, but this has a very low glycemic index, so you're just going to pour that right down into there. That's 3 tablespoons. And then I have a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. This is just a real salt. I have a quarter of a teaspoon of nutmeg. This is just dried spices, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And all of that is also going to go right down into this mixture. Those little, look, that was like a little Pier 1 advertising or something. And then you're gonna mix all that together again, once again. So here is another tip. So that you get the most juiciness out of your apples, what I like to do is I like to go over to the stove. I have a pan that's heating up over here. I've got it on about medium heat. You don't want it super hot. You just want it on medium to low heat, depending on what kind of oven that you're using, or excuse me, stove that you're using. And you're gonna pour your mixture right down into that pan. Now then, what this is going to do, and again, when you're stirring, I want you to go very easy. You don't want to break up those beautiful apple pieces that are there, right? So you just let those sit there. Now I would say that you're going to leave these on the stove, probably constantly stirring gently, very gently. You're going to leave these on the stove for about 3 to 5 minutes, and how you'll know that they're ready is that there's going to be like a little juice that forms at the bottom of the pan, like a little glaze. It's not going to be super noticeable, but you'll just see that there is and you'll smell the aroma, and they don't have to be cooked or anything, of course, but this will just help make your apple pie even more juicy. Okay, so I have my pie crust out here. This is a gluten-free recipe, so I'm using coconut flour, and you're gonna have to use a lot more of it than you would to conventional flour. So I need to put a little on my rolling pin here, get it nice and clean. And you're just gonna give this dough a nice roll out. It works best to work with dough that is obviously chilled, just like any other pie dough. You can see I'm flouring each time I put it down. Nothing's worse than trying to pick up your pie crust and it's stuck to your surface. That's frustrating. Make sure you keep your rolling pin nice and clean and floured up as well. So this is coconut flour that I'm using, from the same company that made the pie crust mix. And when you're rolling dough, you just want to go lightly. You don't want to do like super heavy, you know, downtown, get down on the rolling pin type rolling. So my goal here is to get my dough flat enough so that it is going to fit in my little cupcake tin over there. So then what you're going to do, I want to be able to get one rolling here, and you have to work pretty fast, is I want to be able to get one top and one bottom out of that. And then I'll ball it up and start all over again. And you may have to alternate pie crust out of the refrigerator so that it doesn't, so that it's not, so that it's chilled. So after you've made a little circle, you can see I just took my knife and made a rough circle of my cupcake paper here, and I'm just going to lay that right in there just like this. Don't try to put these in there and try to fill them. This is the best way to do this. So then you're going to put your apples down in there. Oh, I hope I have enough apples for 12 of these. Apples right down in there, and then you're going to kind of squish it all together. Do you know what squishing is? We squish a lot here on Go To Kitchens. Let me move this over here. We're going to squish it all together right down into the tin. Okay? And then I'm going to make a top for it. You can see I've already made one. This is just a little biscuit. You can do it with a can or a jar or whatever. You don't have to be as fancy as this. But I have guests coming for the holiday, so I'm going to make a little star. You can do whatever pattern you want. Maybe you have somebody that really likes apple pie and you want to make their initials. So then I'm just going to take this. Again, I'll move it back over here. I'm going to take this and just mash it down onto the other dough, just where it slightly connects. And then you're just going to have little apple pies after they're baked. How adorable are these? I'm going to put a little cinnamon on top, but I'll show you that before we go to the oven. Okay, so these have been cooking for 40 minutes. They have been in the oven for at 425 for 10 minutes, and then they have been on the I got my little 4th of July, and then they have been at 325 after that for another 30 minutes after. So if you feel like they're burning on top, then you'd want to put like some aluminum foil or something. You can just lay it on top of them. It doesn't have to be wrapped around it, just so that it keeps the crust from burning around the edges. So here they are, little pretty mini apple pies, and they're super easy to do. And my name is Leslie, and this is Go To Kitchens. Let me get a little bit closer there. I can't lift it because it's hot. They smell really good. Now you can control portions when people have pie. This is Leslie. This is Go To Kitchens. Thanks so much for watching. You guys have an amazing holiday. Please find us on Facebook at gotokitchens.com, or you can also find us on the web at gotokitchens.com as well. Or you can email me, talktothehands@gotokitchens.com. Thanks for watching again. Ask me, chat with me, hang out with me, learn with me, pen me. gotokitchens.com.